Can you believe it is Monday? Man, like the weekend just flew by and we're back on a Monday. This is awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast or somewhere on the other side of the planet. Europe, to our friends in the UK, Poland. You guys had so many nice comments and compliments last week. I appreciate and love all of you. Thank you. Yes, I am back in the office again. Again, the internet at home is just wonky. There's nobody in this building, so I am socially distant from everyone except for him behind me, and he's not going anywhere. Anyway, over the weekend, I thought about what is the thing that can bring you the most value right now in this time, and it goes back to something that I learned while spending 5 days with Tony Robbins. And for those of you who are familiar with Tony Robbins, you know, a lot of people know him as a, not a motivational speaker, but a self-improvement guru, right? Someone who helps people achieve their maximum and whatever. But Tony is in his core, an entrepreneur. And I'm going to botch the number because I don't live in his shoes, but he's part of like something like 55 businesses worth $60 billion. Okay. I made those numbers up. If I'm wrong, just comment below. Let me know. I want to know, get the numbers right. I want to be accurate. And so Tony holds twice a year an event called Business Mastery. Now, again, here's an entrepreneur who's involved in lots of businesses and also happens to do what he loves, which is getting on stage and helping people transform their lives and their businesses. And so whether you like him or don't like him, that's fine. I don't care if you don't like him. This isn't about what you like or dislike. It's about the value that I got out of this experience. And my business partner did as well. And so I'm not here to preach the gospel and fire hose you with Tony Robbins. That is not my goal. My goal is to give you the value of something that I got from Business Mastery and spending 5 days with him. And here's what that is. It's the question of what business are you in? By the way, if you have questions, this is a great time. Drop them in. You can find me anywhere on social at Spanky Moskowitz. Of course, you can drop your comments right below this if you're watching it on any of the platforms where you can comment. So if you have a comment, drop it in now. This is a great time to do that. Or if you want, you can text your question to 480-712-4177, 480-712-4177, and I want to answer them. Oh yeah, let me not forget, you can also join me and ask your question on the live cast. And so to join me live, here's the link. I should do this ahead of time, but I didn't. But this is how you know it's also live. So to join me live, I just posted the link. Go here. You'll enter the broadcast room. I will bring you on and we'll talk about your challenges or your questions about your business. So the question of what business are you in? Now, while this may sound like a very basic question to you, it's not. When you ask people what business they're in, typically they respond by telling you what their business does. So, for example, when Tony came up to me and said, okay, what business are you in? I answered, I run a copywriting business. And while technically that is what I do, that's my business, it's the core of my company, it really isn't the business that I'm in. And so I was processing this. You know, you go through an exercise. In fact, at Business Mastery, you go through this workbook of things over the course of 5 days, and there's a ton of information in here to consume. But one of the exercises you do on day one is really determining what business you're in, and then what business you're really in. And so after I processed this, and I had some guidance from Tony, and again, there's a room full of people going through this exercise at the same time, I was able to come up with the answer. And the answer for what business I'm really in isn't copywriting. The answer is I write words that sell anything. Let me repeat that. I write words that sell anything. And so there's a huge difference. Actually, the difference to many people will be subtle, but it's a huge difference. One of them tells you what the business is, right? The first one tells you what the business is. The second one tells you what we actually do, right? There's a big difference. You're going to have to determine what that is for you, and you should take some time to really dig into this and figure out what it is for you. Now, the third question is, what business should you be in? And that question is a little more in the ether. That question is a little more like, you got to do some deep thinking about that. And that last question is more centered around future-proofing your business, okay? Future-proofing what you do or what business you're in so that you can handle winter. We're in the season of winter right now. The global pandemic has caused a shift into winter dramatically for millions of people worldwide, for tens of thousands, if not more, businesses. We are in winter. So what have you done, or what business should you be in to future-proof your business for when winter comes? Because winter is here, right? So it's too late to answer that question today for this moment right now. But it isn't too late to start thinking about that and look at the opportunities that are in front of you. I'm looking at opportunities right now that will, again, future-proof and stabilize the business so that when something like this happens again, not necessarily a pandemic, but a glitch in the economy, the business is future-proof because we have other revenue streams. We have other things that we do. We have services that we provide that are variations or different, but complementary, right? What are you doing to future-proof your business? I'm going to take a sip of this, which will help future-proof my ability to speak. So, what business are you in? What business are you in? Not what do you do, right? Not I make widgets, right? That's a micro answer. I'm looking for macro. I need go deeper. And so for us, what business are we in? We're copywriters. What business am I really in? Is we write words that sell anything. Now, the what business should I be in? The future-proofing part. That's a little different. That talks about things that are aspirational, things that are add-ons, things that are services that are related, but help stabilize your business for when the season of winter comes. Got a question about this for your business, or want to know how to come up with your answers? Drop in right now. You can comment below, and I'll pull those comments right into the live stream. If you have a question, you can text me, 480-712-4177, 480-712-4177, or if you look right below this, there's a link. You can join me on the live cast and ask your question live. Because remember, your question has value to someone else. It's not just your question. When you ask a question, and last week I had some great interaction and great engagement. When you ask a question, other people have that same question, but are just too afraid to ask it. They're just too uncomfortable to put themselves out there. So don't be concerned. There's no judgment, and people who are judgmental get booted off anyway, okay? So think about what business you're in, what business you're really in, and what business you should be in. And then if you have questions, pop it in. Now, one of the other things that I picked up at Business Mastery was the question of, who are you? Now, who are you? In business, there are typically three types of people. Three, one, two, three. I went 4 or 5. There are three types of people. Here, I'll make 3 very clear. There are artist producers, there are manager leaders, and there are entrepreneurs. For a business to be successful, you need all 3 of these. Let me repeat that. For a business to be successful and really operate at its peak, at its prime, you need all 3 of these. Now, lots of people classify or label me as an entrepreneur. And it's really interesting. Over the last year and a half, my opinion of that has shifted. It used to make me really uncomfortable when people would call me an entrepreneur, almost like when I hear the word life coach, like how many people that I know are life coaches, right? When I hear that, I go, oh, it's like a cringeworthy thing. Entrepreneur has become that for me because it's so overused. And true entrepreneurs are not risk averse. True entrepreneurs thrive and live and eat and breathe and sleep risk and opportunity and growth. I would get stomach aches and sit in the bathroom curled up in the fetal position, right? Because I am not a true entrepreneur. I have gotten more comfortable with people referring to me as an entrepreneur, but in my soul, I am truly not. And I'll explain further in a moment. So there are three types of people. I did it again. Three types of people: the artist producer, the manager leader, and entrepreneurs. Now, what I am is an artist. Look around me. Look around my office. Okay. This is a creative space. Okay. I'm an artist. I may have business ideas. I may have the ability to execute. But the reality is that I'm an artist. First and foremost, I need to practice my craft. So I'm not a manager leader, and I'm definitely not an entrepreneur, but I'm an artist with entrepreneurial tendencies, meaning I have this creative outlet, this vision, but I'm not fully risk tolerant. I'm risk averse. So knowing who you are helps you navigate your business better, because that allows you to bring in the components, the people that you need to amplify and accelerate your business. If you're with me on that, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you got that message, that I was clear. Because sometimes I say things like that and people go, what? What did he just say? I just did my Tim the Toolman Taylor, for those of you who are familiar with that. And I'm pulling the Facebook feed up because I am seeing some messages come in. So I will come to your question. I see that about the fitness business. We'll get into that in a second. So Tony at Business Mastery tells this incredible story, and I am going to do my best not to mess it up. But he talks about when Steve Wynn of Wynn Hotels and Casinos had just opened up his new hotel. It was a location in Asia, and I don't know exactly where in Asia, but and nor is that necessary or germane to the story. He invited Tony for a private tour of this brand new luxury casino. So he said, Tony, come in. I want to show you around. This is like such a great place. I'm so excited to like share it with you. And he took him into the high stakes room where the whales play. Now the whales, for those of you who are not casino familiar, are the high rollers. They're the big spenders, the people who go in with a wad of, they don't even have cash. They work on credit. They stay in the suites in the hotel. Anyway, a gentleman is seated at one of the tables, and this guy lost, like, in the blink of an eye, I want to say it was like 10 million bucks. And again, I'm going from memory. And so 10 million bucks like that, it was gone. And I don't know about you as a human, but for me, losing $10 million would kill me. Like in a single, first of all, I don't have $10 million. If I had $10 million, I would, again, like I said earlier, I'd be in the bathroom in a fetal position. That's what I would do. So let's say $100. If I lost $100 at a casino, I would be so pissed, because I don't have that kind of risk tolerance to just throw money away. But this guy was different. He was wired differently. And as Tony described it, he stood up, and when he turned around, he saw Steve Wynn and Tony Robbins standing there. And the guy, his arms go up. Now you think at this point, the guy just lost $10 million on a hand or whatever he was playing. And the guy just lost all of this money. And he stands up and he goes, oh my God, I am such a huge fan. Can I take a picture with you? And that's not what my reaction would be if I just dropped that kind of money at a casino table. So Tony graciously says, "Oh, of course you can." And the guy doesn't go to Tony. He goes over to Steve Wynn, and he gushes to Steve Wynn about what a huge fan he is and of his casinos, and that he only gambles at his properties. And anyway, he just took that loss in stride like it was no big deal. That, my friends, is an entrepreneur. Okay? He eats, sleeps, and breathes risk. And risk doesn't scare him. It's just a game to him. So I am completely clear that I am fully not an entrepreneur. I have entrepreneurial tendencies. I will tolerate some risk, right? I've built this business. I started from nothing and built this business to a 7-figure business. But would I risk $10 million in a casino? No way. Would I invest $10 million in a business that I'm not sure of? No, it's out of my comfort zone, not something I've ever considered doing. Okay? I'm an artist. I'm a producer. I'm a performer. And I have entrepreneurial tendencies to take small risks. Now, there are managers and leaders, and that's a different person, or operationally minded people like Brandon, my business partner. I am not that. But knowing who you are is so critical to the success of your business. Knowing who you are is critical to running your company. It just is. Now, before I get to the third and final piece of this, I want to jump into some of the questions. And what does it say? I am breathing heavier. That felt so. Hold on. Alan says, I'm breathing heavier. That's so much. I feel what you're saying. Yes. You have to know in here how you are wired. Because if you don't, you're trying to run a business based on someone you're not. And that's not me. It's just not me. Vlad, oh, by the way, guys, just an update on Vlad, who jumped in last week. Vlad has now written, I don't know, 5 or 6 ads for Ad Zombies. And because several people said, hey, if you guys don't hire him, we will. So let me tell you, Vlad, getting closer and closer to being our first Romanian-born writer, Cepac. He wrote 5 ads for us. He's working on some more. But then I said, all right, we're going to give you 3 client ads. Now, these are ads to take the pressure off that are already done. And so the clients have them. They've been delivered. So there's less pressure. But I want him to see what he can do with these. So his question today is, do you believe risk-taking is something you learn, or is it something you're born with? Vlad, that is an interesting question. I think people become more risk tolerant when they're younger. So your risk tolerance is higher when you're younger, right? Think about all the stupid things guys do when they're younger, right? They'll take motorcycles and jump over buses, and they'll do stupid, like, the reason guys have higher insurance rates is because we do stupid things. And I think you become less risk tolerant and more risk averse as you get older. At least I have in certain areas. Again, not everybody's wired the same, right? We're all wired a little bit differently. So the answer to your question is, I think it's something that you either inherently are comfortable with or are not. I know lots of people who are not risk takers at all. And I think that they will never be risk takers. It's just their internal wiring. So could it be a little bit of both? Yes, but I think a lot of it has to do with wiring. You can't make someone get on a motorcycle and jump a bus. You have to be born with that ability to take the risk, and not everybody is. It's just simple as that. This one is, if Facebook doesn't, if you don't tell it who you are or allow the app to tell you who you are, I don't know who you are. So you're just going to be a random Facebook user. I'm in the online fitness business, weight loss. The business I'm thinking I'm really in it is coaching or consulting in relation to health. Yes, see, that's more accurate. You're in the fitness business, right? Which is what your business does, right? The fitness or weight loss business. But what your business really is you help people optimize their physical well-being, right? That's my take on it. So your version of that and my version of that may be different. And it's not wrong, but when you can articulate to your audience what you do, it's much clearer to them and they understand inherently what your business is or does. Does that make sense? And if it makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Just let me know, because otherwise I can't see it. Like, I can't see all of you. I see like little things coming in, but I can't see everything, and it's killing me. And I'm afraid to bring it up on the other screen because it will start to feed back on me. So having the ability to pivot and say what you do, not pivot, to say what you do, what it is you really do, helps your potential audience understand the value of what you bring to them and what you can do for them and how you can help them, right? If I said to a room of people, and I remember this, so Tony was standing up on stage and said, after I said, we're a copywriting service, I have a copywriting service, he asked everyone in this room, and I think there was probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 business owners and some high-level employees of these companies. So this was a very small event for Tony Robbins. It's a very intimate setting, business mastery. And he says, how many of you would do business with this man's company? And it was like crickets, like not a soul. And maybe one or two hands went up. But I mean, to me, it was dead. And then when he asked, okay, what business are you really in? And at that point, I had figured out what that was. And I said, I write words that sell anything. He resurveyed the audience and says, how many of you would do business with this man's company? And it was like a sea of hands went up across this room. And I was like, wow, right? It's being able to clearly articulate the value you bring, not to yourself, but to your potential client. That's where the value comes in doing this exercise. So I appreciate your question. I hope that that helped, because I think the more you can clarify what business are you really in, the more value you bring to your potential audience. That's it. The final thing, and this was probably the third and most valuable takeaway for me. And by the way, I'm still taking your questions, and I see a couple more popping in. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. If you're on Facebook, if you're on, can I see the YouTube questions in here? I don't know. But drop your questions in, drop your comments in. You can also text your questions at 480-712-4177. I can't pull those to the screen, but I can answer them. And if you want to join me in the live cast, you can join me here. And I'm going to drop that link one more time. You're welcome to join me and ask your question live. I would love to have you on. It's kind of fun. Again, the third and final thing, do you own your business, or does your business own you? And that question requires, again, some thinking. Can your business, if you were to step away from your business for a day, can your business survive? That's a question only you can answer. How about a week? Could you step away for a month? 6 months? So if your answer to any of those was no, then you're not a business owner. You're an operator, you're an employee. And a business owner works on their business and not in their business. So let me say that again and kind of paint a picture for you. A business owner works on their business, not in it. So on a daily basis, I am here at Ad Zombies working on growth, on working with the team, working with Brandon on how do we make things better in our system, right? I'm working on the business. I'm not writing copy for clients around the world. I am not in our customer service queue helping customers. I am not doing the work of the business. I am working on growing the business and accelerating and amplifying the business. Does your business own you, or do you own your business? So if you don't have a team in place, if you don't have the structure in place so that your business can run without you being there, you essentially have a job. And is that why you built a business? To have a job? So the stuff that I got from spending 5 days with Tony Robbins was huge. And And I hope I covered it well enough for you guys to get value out of it. I hope I added enough to your brain, enough food for thought that you walk away from today with like, wow, okay, I got something. And if you didn't, tell me, because I want to make sure that these get better and better every time I do them. And they only get better if you leave me feedback. Okay. If you want to catch any of the stuff that we do on our podcast, please go to Apple iTunes or Google Play, whatever it's called. Look for TYC, 3 Yellow Chairs. That's the podcast. You can catch all the stuff. And I'm glad you totally get it. And thank you. I'm glad you did. I'm assuming that goes back to the fitness business. But yes, check out the podcast. If you want to catch any of the stuff I write about, hit the blog, adzombies.com/blog. And I will catch you guys here tomorrow morning, 9 Pacific, noon Eastern, for another one of these. And we're going to go straight into content. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Go out there and crush it with your businesses. Later.